Well, I mainly just was trying to put together a project that would be the furthering of what I was already working on, kind of, because I know when you're a producer or a beat maker or any type of musician who continuously works at what they're doing, you'll often come up with a multiplicity of what it is you're doing, whether it be in track form, project form. You may have come out with a couple projects within a time span, so to speak. Me, on the other hand, I had many projects, but more so times where I was pursuing my work ethic, so to speak. So I feel like with the tracks that I have on the project, they're just the ones that I could bring about within that time span. But unfortunately, in that time span, I had some trouble with my 303, My sampler was damaged to the point where I believe the technical term is called electrical continuity. I had damaged the electrical continuity on the SP303, which basically means every time you press down on a pad, you do your finger drumming, the fucking lights wouldn't show and shit, so you can't really see anything happening. It's not the fact that the lights just aren't showing, it's the fact that the electrical continuity is damaged to the point where the sampler is basically unusable, because if you don't have any electrical continuity in the pads you're pressing, then there's no electrical effect as far as your input. And that's just what I was dealing with, man, and it kind of set me back for real, because like I said, me being a musician, I like to continuously pursue my work ethic, and being within production and, sample-based instrumentation as a musician, and not having my sampler working, that's just kind of fucked me up for real, But I believe in God, I believe in things happening for a reason. I was about to say religion. I believe in things happening for a reason. So then that whole time span of me not being able to work on my tracks and shit, I was able to look deeper into things, involving my personal livelihood, away from making music, away from just getting up trying to make beats and, go to sleep to wake up and be able to do it and shit, and go to the nighttime to make shit and shit. Like, me being void of that brought me closer to learning more about stuff which I hadn't. For example, within my setup, I was using instruments, using different things, that I feel like were the instruments that I like to use, whereas I wasn't knowing of what instruments I potentially need to include within my setup. So I feel like the time where my sampler was broken, I was able to gain closeness with myself, as well as learning more about what I may need to bring about, or what I might want to include within my arrangement as it had already existed. Aside from not being able to make music, I feel like I was shafted in a sense. The word shafted as an adjective, like shafted, what I'm saying? I'm just throwing that one out there. I'm shafted, what I'm saying? Because I couldn't really fuck with nothing, I like to make jokes, so I like making jokes every now and then. Make them when I have the time, when I've taken care of things that are more important than trying to make beats, or if I got the time to work on some music. That's what I like to do for real, Especially since I had potentially, I want to say, not gotten better, but gained a little more fondness with the craft, to the point where I'm knowing how to go about the creation of the sound which I, aspire to bring about. And, I like that for real. I like being able to do that kind of. So, yeah, what I'm saying? With that dead pad 303 happening, what I'm saying? Having pads 1 through 8 previously having their proper electrical continuity, and then just basically losing 6 out of 8 pads, only having 2 for putting a damn snare on one and a kick on the other, and then looking, you know what I'm saying, still get the sample and the fucking hi-hat or whatever the fuck, like, yeah, just not having the right pads on that jump, like, I want to say that put me back to the point where now I wasn't able to go and pursue the righteous task that I like to do for real, you know what I'm saying? And for one, I'm the type of person who likes to go about things on their own, you know what I'm saying? So aside from the help of the forums, you know what I'm saying? Shout out SP forums, you know what I'm saying? Little insights I would gain on there, you know what I'm saying? Knowing what to do and looking into the happenings of some of the other producers and trying to find things to research, or, you know what I'm saying, potential methods that could be within appropriate application in my situation. I just didn't want to try to seek the help of Roland, you know what I'm saying, the technical expertise of a repair shop, you know what I'm saying. I felt like the money that I put into trying to have the sample repaired, that would be almost contradicted to the whole mind frame of me liking to do things on my own, you know what I'm saying. I would pursue the fix it its own, you know, as aside from reaching out to technical expertise or any type of third party like source where they would like help me for real. I mean, that's just me for real, especially at the time right now for real. You know what I'm saying, with my background with IT, knowing a little bit about electronics, computers, you know what I'm saying, as far as what I know, I'd like to apply that in situations where it's applicable. Sorry, I'm tripping tone, applicable. I like to apply that in a situation where I need to. I had like MFX 3 broken and shit, you know what I'm saying, to the point where I'm, you know what I'm saying, I'm holding down MFX trying to turn the control 3 knob and the shit's showing numbers 1 through 12, 1 through 17, however many MFX I think is a little over 17 MFX jumps on the 303. Like, I would be holding down MFX trying to, you know what I'm saying, get my control 3 going. And the fucking sampler would just be going haywire. So that job fucked me up for real, you know what I'm saying, to the point where I was like, okay, I'm going to pursue this route on my own. So I took my whole setup and just kind of like stripped it down to the bare minimum, which was nothing on the table, you know, just a table by itself. And I have a couple tools, you know what I'm saying, just household based tools, you know what I'm saying, a damn Phillips head screwdriver, multi-socket wrench type of handheld screwdriver and shit. Like, I just fuck with that, you know what I'm saying, reading the manual and also looking at some of the photographs of how the SP303 is to be disassembled. And I just decided to open the shit up, man, because it's fucked up. Like, I never think that I fucking open the 303, you know what I'm saying? Once you have a damn instrument and it's within working condition, you don't really anticipate trying to go to modify it and shit. You don't think you're gonna fucking like be taking the feet off of it, looking for the screws and shit, like, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I just opened shit up, man. Like, I was like, fuck, I'm about to take all the screws apart on the shit, you know what I'm saying? Reading to the service manual, you know what I'm saying, as far as the PCB's layout for real, you know what I'm saying? I got a little into that as well, just in case I needed to understand how the tracers may need to be remanipulated to restore the circuitry and all that, you know what I'm saying? A lot for real, you know what I'm saying? The time span, that's why this whole situation goes back to some of the things that I had stated as far as how a musician who's passionate and often like in the midst of their creativity and has been about doing that for a time span, how a person such as that will take pursuits to continue and further on with whatever it is that they aspire or anticipate on doing. So me, as a guy who likes to use the 303, you know, I like to get my beat machine, you know what I'm saying, going and all that. Like, my drum machine was rendered to the point where I thought that it was obsolete, but I always knew that I could repair it, you know what I'm saying? But once again, I've got a couple problems with it, you know what I'm saying? So it's not fixed all the way. Sad to say, the drum machine not fixed all the way, but I wanted to bring it up to a point where it was able to do some of the things that I was able to do on it when it was working, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I opened the shit up, fucking like took the screws out. I had a little setup where I like took a couple, you know, the shits like little small cups for real, little small paper cups. Like, you think you're gonna take a shot of liquor out of it for real, but you realize like, no, I ain't never gonna take a little shot of liquor out of a little ass paper cup for real. So I took hella paper cuts, like 4 or 5 of them jokes, and just labeled them like A through E. I want to say A, B, C, D, E. And I take the volume knobs off, place them into the paper cuts, you know. I guess I would only use cups A through D for the volume knobs because there are only 4 volume knobs. There are only 4 knobs on the 303, so to speak. You know, you've got control 1 through 3 in the volume knobs. So once I realized that, my whole thing was to take the volume knobs off of the sampler and then remove the faceplate and whatever, you know what I'm saying, the proper method as far as disassembling it. I got to the PCB being attached to the bottom plate, or more so like once you take the volume knobs and open it, the PCB is attached to the front cover. And once I disassembled the PCB from the front cover, I was just left with the PCB for real. That's where you go and you want to try to restore the circuitry. You know, if you all keep up with what I'm saying. Remember I said that what happened to the sampler was that the electrical circuitry went out on it, you know. So when I was pressing my pads, you know, to get my beats going, you know what I'm saying, doing my thing and shit, like, fucking pads, like, nothing was working on it, you know what I'm saying. I would press it down on something, like, but nothing's happening for it. So, you know what I'm saying, with a little bit of research, like I said, shout out SP Forums, you know what I'm saying, SP Forums, they're a good website, you know what I'm saying, I like them as a website, you know, you can get on there, you can check out ideas from other producers, you know what I'm saying, as far as what's going on with them. Sometimes producers just go in and have a discussion with one another. You may see somebody enter into what's known as the arena for real, where it's like, and the producer takes an instrumental or a sample, so to speak, and they discuss as to, you know what I'm saying, like what they anticipate on challenging the other one about, you know, whether it's they would like for someone to pick up the same sample as them and try to compare which instrumentation is brought about from it, or if another producer wants to potentially collaborate with an individual and they post some of the sounds that they may want to work with, you know what I'm saying? It's just dope for real. It's a lot of cool stuff happening within that community, you know what I'm saying? That also keeps my spirit driven and my interest in the lane that I'm in, you know what I'm saying? Because aside from me being a musician, I am a listener, you know what I'm saying? I like listening to music. I like everything from hip hop to R&B to go-go. I like what's known as jazz. The other one, house, EDM. Shit's called acid jazz, you know what I'm saying? Just different types of music that I enjoy, you know what I'm saying? I don't really listen to a lot of reggae, but I know reggae got a sound to it where it's like, yo, like you hear reggae jump, and you know what I'm saying, whether they're singing about upbringing, lifting, you know what I'm saying, the word, I want to say like Babylon, you know what I'm saying, when they refer to how corrupt some of the damn forces were, you know what I'm saying, back then, whether it be the police or just Babylon in the sense of like corrupt mind state taking a toll on the land for real, you know what I'm saying, like corrupt beings, you know what I'm saying, and the I want to say like how being corrupt can affect within multiplicity. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I was like, burn Bobby on. Like, get it out of here. You know what I'm saying? Burn the motherfucker down for real, because it's obviously corrupt and fucking our shit up. You know, like, you hear that shit in reggae for real. It's like, I don't really listen to a lot of reggae, and I'm not fond of many, like, reggae artists, but yeah, I hear some reggae shit sometimes, you know what I'm saying, whether it be a little chop I'm gonna grab, you know what I'm saying, off of a cassette, because mainly a lot of my samples that I get, which are actual, like, pieces of instrumentation from other musicians, we get those shits off cassette. But I own, like, a lot of records, you know, at least to the point where I've got some records, you know what I'm saying, it's just that my folks have gave me, or jokes that they ain't give me, but, you know what I'm saying, I'm more so tapped into, because I knew that type of, that source of media was there for me, you know what I'm saying, because at that point I was the musician, I was living as the young man who was a part of his youth, you know what I'm saying, so I just jumped on that, you know what I'm saying, but yeah, this is a chill Joe, you know, it's a couple tracks, you know what I'm saying, it's not many, because the sampler was more so like fucked up. Like, this is what I'm talking about. The sampler job fucked up during these times, really. You know what I'm saying? Some of the months of, I want to say, like, the sampler really got bad in, like, September 2019. Like, last year, by, like, the middle part of September, it got kind of bad for real. And then towards Christmas and shit, like, it kind of went out almost all the way for real. That's when I opened it up, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, I'm about to restore this motherfucker. I'm not taking my shit to the damn technical repair shop to get it done, where it's like, you know what I'm saying, I only paid like $127. I paid like, I'm not gonna lie, yo, I paid $127, like within a range of like $125 and $129 for an SP303. Now you look on eBay, you look on Reverb, you look on some of those like shops, online shits that like sell instruments, man, you see that shit going for upwards of $380 to $415, and it's never new. It's always used. Like, each one is used. It's not gonna be a new one if you're looking to purchase SP303 in 2020. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I like the SP303. That's one of the illest jokes for real. Like, I haven't used any other sampler besides the 2000 XL ones, but I never owned one of those. But I'm just saying, like, as far as me being a sample-based musician, you know what I'm saying, getting busy as a producer, like, SP303, that's what I'm fond of, for real, you know what I'm saying? That's the shit that I sort of learned how to make them shit. So when I didn't have a sampler, when I learned how to make a couple drum patterns, you know what I'm saying, adding a synth to it, adding what's known as a bass synth to a drum pattern. When I learned how to add a synth to a drum pattern, I didn't even have a sampler for real. I ain't have Fruity Loops either. I didn't have a fucking DAW that could make beats. I had a DAW which I was able to record into. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have my DAW set up with all the shits like packs and shit, drum kits and all that shit. I didn't have any of that shit. One time I had a damn iPhone 6. Before that shit, I had a 4S. You know what I'm saying? I don't even have an iPhone anymore right now. If anybody wants to know, you know what I'm saying, I use a phone called Galaxy Note 9, a Samsung Galaxy Note 9. I like having that shit, yo. That shit is crazy, man. That shit make me not even want to fuck with an iPhone for nothing no more, for real. I know they got the 11 that's out now, but I'm like, yo, my Note 9 sound good. I don't even need an iPhone anymore as far as like using that shit as the real, you know, hop on the horn type shit. I would hop on an iPhone like also nostalgia-based experience, you know what I'm saying, just to like take it and make something with it, you know what I'm saying. They got some good apps for that, Joe, and I really like this shit, but nowadays, you know what I'm saying, I'm an Android-based individual. I got a Samsung phone, you know what I'm saying, in the spot. We got Samsung refrigerator, Samsung microwave. Like, we Android now, you know what I'm saying. We not Team Apple no more. Like, as far as hop on the horn, we got Samsung phone, we got Android. But it's like, just that whole situation with the sampler try to fuck me up for real, but it was like I needed to be stable, able-minded enough to understand that, okay, this will soon pass as well. I'll fucking do the research type shit. I'll rebuild the sampler. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can order the fucking parts and shit. I can order a fucking RCA jack and repair the right stereo out. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't know, usually instruments, they have a left and a right out, you know what I'm saying, which creates a stereo signal. So in my case, my SP303 had a broken right out, so the red composite portion of the little cable and shit, like, it didn't work, you know what I'm saying? It didn't work. And I kept trying to figure out, like, yo, like, why is my shit, like, coming out, like it's not hitting as hard, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I remember back when I first started, I used to have shits that were hard for real. I was like, what the fuck is going on now? I'm still making my shit, but, like, I feel like some of my snares and drums and shit aren't hitting as hard, they're hitting hard, but, like, these tracks that I'm making, they're not really, like, able to stand up with some of the other shits that I made. So once I realized the stereo was off on the shit, I was like, man, I gotta do something about that shit too. Or even, like, get to figure out what to do about that for real, so I could kind of compensate for that fault, But the proper way to do it is to order your RCA jack new and replace the broken one. And that's just something you kind of learn as life goes along, because, when you're young like I am now, you know what I'm saying, if you younger than that, and you just like to fuck with your hardware sampler, you just feeling good because you got you a damn beat machine, you're not gonna know to take the RCA jack off of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like with this project here, this is probably one of the shortest beat tapes I've ever put out. I usually do beat tapes like where I release the instrumentals that I've worked on after they've been categorized and thoroughly, like, reviewed. It's never anything where I just put it out because I got an album art that I want to attach my music to. It's always a process that I was living within a time span where I was pursuing my creations, and what was brought about from that was what I would be able to output and be able to bring to the table when it was time for me to drop, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like on this show, it's a short jump, I feel like it could be captivating in the sense of, like, for the listener, you know what I'm saying, for people that's listening to my music and like what I do. I feel like for the tracks that's on there, I can hold y'all attention for all of them and shit, and they all are different, but they're, sort of similar in the sense of they come from a time span where the sampler was almost rendered obsolete, but I still found it something that I wanted to use. I didn't think it was an instrument that I wanted to get rid of. I didn't think that, oh shit, fucking MFX button's fucked up. Oh, Control 3 is down. Like, let me toss this shit out. Like, fuck that. Like, no, I didn't want to get rid of the 303. I still got plans for that. Definitely got plans for the restoration involved in that, but I pursued the restoration, I kind of went on topic with the information regarding the release, but yeah, back to the whole story about the sampler, like, that's why it's called disassembly reassembly, because once I disassembled the sampler, there was the process which came about from looking to reassemble it. And I had reassembled it to a point where it had brought the sampler back to a working shape that I was able to make these songs with, yet the issue as far as the electrical continuity and the contacts on the PCB, I guess, persisted to the point where it also affected its total functionality. Let's just say that, So right now I kind of got my sampler disassembled again and shit. It's not in working state. I want to say I haven't worked on beats in don't even know for real. I ain't working on those shits in almost 3 months. I feel like I was working on beats when the sampler kind of first started being fucked up all the way type shit from September to January this year and shit. So like after the little couple days in January, for real, I feel like I ain't working on a beat since then, man. I put out Hanging There Too, which is a good release for real, you know what I'm saying? Hanging There Too was me trying to introduce production anew for the year, as well as a continuation of what I was able to do, something that I expanded upon as far as my sound and how I kind of know how to make beats. So I put out Hanging There Too, which is a couple tracks, and yeah, I just hope folks fuck with it, you know what I'm saying? I don't really look for a gain larger than what's within anticipation, really, or what's expected from it. You know, I don't look for anything to happen from it that it shouldn't really, you know. So, I mean, yeah, I guess, you know, if you get a chance to hear it, you know, you probably come across a couple jokes on there, you'd be like, wow, you know, I ain't know he was able to clean it up like that. You know, I didn't know that dude was capable of that, because if you've been following my works, you'll understand that the tracks on Hanging There Too are introductions that are new, you know what I'm saying? Just as I said, I like to create production anew, which I had achieved with the Hanging There Too release. So when you hear some of those tracks, you understand that they were new, or they were like just new joints for real, like a couple joints. I feel like some people like the first track. I think the first track on Hanging There Too is super sick, really. It's just a short loop for real. Short song that I played on the sampler for real. It's pretty cool. But on Disassembly, Reassembly, I feel like I was hitting them harder for real, because that was when I rebuilt the sampler, you know what I'm saying? Once I had disassembled it and put it back together, I was like, come on, let's go. Went straight in the jump. That was like all knocked out on one take for real. That's why it's like, I'm putting them out all on one jump, because those were all made in the same night for real, you know? And I don't really like to rush my productions. That's why I said when I release stuff, it also is a reflection of the time span of its contents, as well as beat tape release, you know? So, yeah, with the jump that I just put out and shit, like, it's not even out yet for real, you know. At the time of me filming this, the tape's not out yet. Like, that's why it's so wild for real, like, you know. So it's like, yeah, with the jump it's coming out and shit, I feel like this is me, you know what I'm saying, coming from the perspective of one whose sampler was damaged, whereas their sampler is at the forefront of their creativity and at the forefront of their production. So when the sampler was damaged, I was damaged, so to speak. Like, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't do what I like to do for real. You know, I couldn't make shit, you know, because I got a little bit of experience with the different software Jones trying to make tracks with that shit, but that's not me for real. I don't like to just make shits with the software and try to make music off that shit. I like a more hardware-based approach, because it's more iller for real. And that's something I stick to because it's ill, you know what I'm saying? It's dope. I use software, you know what I'm saying, as far as tracking, you know, if it's something that I want to grab off of the DAW, you know, and implement it within my regiment, you know, I will. But I'm just not a person who solely makes beats with a DAW. So, yeah, no offense. But on this one, you know what I'm saying, it's a couple good samples on there. I feel like I touched grounds with a couple different, like, styles and shits, like, you got a Bali joint on there. Use a Bali sample for like 2 songs for real. Fucking a couple like just cool little sample joints, little shits that I grabbed for real. Jokes that I feel like I could achieve something with. So I mean, you guys check it out, you know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think for real. There's really no way for y'all to contact me directly unless you know me and shit, you know what I'm saying? Some of the people that listen to my music actually know me for real and are capable of contacting me directly, you know. And if you happen to be one of those people, you can go ahead and contact me for real and let me know your thoughts as far as where you think I should improve upon, where you think I should sort of lessen up on, or if it's something that you want to hear me do or bring about within my production, I'm always up to a discussion as far as things like that. I'm not opposed to working with people. A lot of people think that I don't reach out to them to send them beats. It's the fact that I'm still looking to improve upon getting better, you know. I like to try to reinforce what it is that I'm capable of. It's not just me thinking that, oh, like I got like my shit together now, so let me just say all y'all rappers and beat and shit. It's like, yo, like I'm more interested in trying to get our production together, you know what I'm saying? It's more so interested in getting the production together where it's like getting the production together where I feel that it's able to do its just due, for real. I want my shit to be straight. I'm still learning, you know? Still trying to get better at making beats, still trying to get better at what I'd like to bring about from this whole thing. And it's a process, for real. And to anybody else who is a musician, they could relate to that, for real. Because it's like, I know a lot of other music-based heads, you know, people that like music and shit or wanted to get into making music on their own. They've dealt with times where they may have said, okay, here's my release, yet I'd still like to be looking to achieve this, or I aspire to aim for this within my next take. Or, for example, a musician may say, on my next project, I want to be better. On my next project, I want this beat to do this. I want this to happen in the next time around. For example, you know, so just me, I like to make jokes, you know, I don't really try to stress the fact that if one of them wasn't like super dope, you know what I'm saying, that I'm so saddened by that. But, you know, I do take pride in what I'm doing, and when I listen to my jokes, like, you know what I'm saying, if it's not doing the right thing for real, I'm gonna be like, yo, I ain't fuck with how my shit wasn't doing nice, how my other shit was, for real. Because I be knowing someone, I be fucking with jokes this job ill, for real. So, yeah, that's just what it's about, for real, you know what I'm saying? And to all the producers out there, other sample-based musicians, people like to use the hardware and shit, like, that's cool, man. I like that there's the potential of creating a community out of this, you know what I'm saying? Whereas the community has already been created, and it's like, it's cool that something like this can be brought to the forefront where it's viewable from an audience. And if you think about the progression of music similar to what I'm doing, so to speak, you've kind of seen it being brought to the audience, so to speak, where it's visible almost. Like, you can see it on SoundCloud. You can see that people have started YouTube channels where they kind of are using the hardware that I may have had experience with, or hardware which I may not use anymore, but you kind of see it being implemented in other people's procedures as well. And it's often commendable, really, you know, to say the least, because if you got to say something about those people on the computer that you don't know about, you can at least say something. So that's why, to say the least, it's often commendable to see the musicians are incorporating techniques and equipment that I'm familiar with, you know what I'm saying? And that's dope, for real, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of heads out there that kind of know what they're doing with those shits. Some heads out there taking that shit to another level where it's like, they got niggas like me looking at it like, yo, I might want to think about fixing up what I'm doing, or, you know, I might want to try to bring something new to the table as well. And I guess that's cool, because that's what pushes things forward, for real. But, yeah, man, we just gotta keep it going, man. You know what I'm saying? All you guys out there that like to fuck with different jokes, man, big up to y'all. Salute to all the folks out there, you know what I'm saying? All my people and shit. They'll already know. We just gotta keep it moving, for real. We just gotta start thinking more about how to respond to things, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a response to things. Whether it's your internal response and how you gonna do, or how you not gonna do, you know what I'm saying? Because it all meshes within one, you know. Sometimes it's a time to do, and there's also a time not to do. Me, on the other hand, I'm in a time where it's both, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's we in a crazy ass time right now, you know what I'm saying? Shit's called COVID-19, man. Knocking niggas off, man. Just taking people out of here, man. That shit just sad for real, because on top of the people dying from the damn virus, you know, from the corona, the motherfuckers just dying anyways and shit, because if you look at the damn headlines, if you hop on shit's like CNN, Yahoo homepage, you know what I'm saying? I know y'all got an email. I know y'all got the computer for real. If you hop on the damn computer, you get on the damn feed, the first joint you see is the nigga that got knocked off for real. Or even the damn death toll increasing in different parts, you know what I'm saying? And it's sad for real, because it's like, ain't nobody asked for a motherfucking virus and shit. Ain't nobody asked for a worldwide spreading pandemic, because it's known as a pandemic. It isn't an epidemic. It is known as a pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Niggas ain't asked for that shit, man. But it's like, whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? The shits that I made, they was prior to the pandemic, you know? So I was working within a situation as myself and shit. But now, you know what I'm saying? We on a pandemic and shit. Niggas ain't even get a chance to make no music, man. I have not been on the damn SP303 within this shit. But I know some heads out there that's probably, they gonna fuck y'all up, because they gonna drop for real. There's some ill ass niggas out there that's gonna drop. And it's not necessarily with a 303 for real. It's just gonna be a drop for real, you know what I'm saying? But y'all niggas stay in touch, man. You stay right with yourselves, man. This is me, man, signing out, man. Everybody get with what I'm doing, and I want to hear back from some people about something, man. Ain't nobody looking to create this content to fucking like do the wrong thing with it. You know, I want to do the right thing with it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not trying to probe y'all incorrectly. I'm more so trying to create documentation that'll help me, you know, learn and get more in tune with what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So Can't Join Media is a YouTube channel that started off with the image that I created. You know, I had created the graphic for it, and I was like, you know, I want to have this be in an applicable fashion as far as content creation, and you know what I'm saying, it's really at the beginning stages, but it's just like more so for me to have a place to, you know what I'm saying, upload shit to for real, you know what I'm saying, something that makes sense and resonate with me, you know what I'm saying. Can't join in the sense of this something that I'm about, you know. It's not you to try to pro me, you know what I'm saying. It's not for the other side to be within the influence of what I'm doing and what I'm bringing to the table, you know what I'm saying. That's just at the end of the day for real. But I would like for the people to check me out, you know what I'm saying, on the websites that I got. You know, I got some music on Bandcamp or whatever, you know what I'm saying. But I'm really just looking forward for these next 2 months or whatever to pass by, so I can begin to make the music that I like to make again for real. But I'm going to be doing things such as trying to improve upon my health during this time, reading, doing a lot of different things such as exercising, trying to stay more fluent, you know, with being responsible and doing the right thing for real, trying to get in touch with how I can improve the relationships between me and my family for real, because me and my family, we special to one another. We ain't never been at odds with one another to the point where we weren't able to speak to each other again, not being thrown off by, you know, sudden quarrels, you know. So I'm trying to refrain from hopping in quarrels and shit with people in the family, and I just want to be good for real, you know what I'm saying, to the point where all that is what I could do, you know. That's all I could do for real, you know what I'm saying. But this is me, man, you know what I'm saying. Y'all check me out on the computer, man, and you get that disassembly, reassembly, you know what I'm saying. When that junk drop, you know what I'm saying, you could get that for it. You can listen to it. If you like it, you can keep it, man, because along with it being streamable, you know what I'm saying, if it ain't for download, you know what I'm saying, go and download it yourself. Go and hop on Google, you know what I'm saying, you type in how to download an MP3 from a what's known as a primary source, you know, whether it be the website it's posted on or wherever you found the music, you know what I'm saying. Figure out what to do on the computer, because I know a lot of y'all social media niggas, man, y'all trolling, man, you know what I'm saying. That's just for me, for real, and I had to throw that out there, because that social media joke, I find it to be full of junk sometimes, you know, but it's also full of educational content. But you already exposed to all the full of junk, where it's like, how the fuck I'm gonna get with this type of educating shit. How I'm going to try to look into this stuff that makes sense where all y'all showing is junk. You know what I'm saying? That shit job blow me for real. That's why you don't see me on the Insta for real. But it's like if I did have an Instagram, I would just be fucking niggas up with all clips for real. It's different clips of me making shits, you know what I'm saying? Showing the process behind what I'm doing or showing the actuality of what I'm doing, you know. That shit would be alright, but I don't need that right now because usually I'm on Instagram for talking bitches and shit, you know what I'm saying? And excuse my language, but I'm on there trying to communicate with the nice females and shit. And I don't really want to be doing that because I'm not nobody that's interested in trying to create like a date and shit off the internet so hard. I like, you know what I'm saying? I like to talk to a nice young girl in real life, you know what I'm saying? Or had come across the opportunity where I could for real, you know what I'm saying? But that's on another subject, man. You guys have a pleasant day, man. Stay up, y'all. Y'all stay on point with what y'all doing for real, because I know that one day, for whatever it is that you like to do for real, you know, you're going to be able to do that for real, you know, because you had done it before, and in the future you would potentially be able to do it on a larger scale because I've done it, you know what I'm saying? That's what it is, man. Word up, though. Stay on point. Word up.